Episode 5, Archangel Falls to Darkness. Part 1, The Infernal Arena. Hell transformed itself for the occasion. The scattered torture pits and burning lakes coalesced into a vast arena, its walls made from the compressed screams of the damned. Mountains of skulls formed bleachers where millions of demons gathered, their eyes glowing like embers in the supernatural darkness. The ground became a mirror of black glass, reflecting not images but the deepest fears of anyone who looked upon it. Above, the sky of hell, if it could be called a sky, writhed with faces of the tormented, their mouths open in eternal silent screams. Rivers of molten sulfur carved glowing channels through the landscape, and the air itself was thick with ash and despair, choking and viscous. Gabriel stood at the center of this infernal coliseum, his corrupted wings spread wide. The gray fire that emanated from him was neither holy nor unholy, but something between, something that shouldn't exist. His sword trembled in his grip, not from fear but from the wrongness of an angel standing in hell's heart.
Welcome, Gabriel. Welcome to your final stage.
The Dark Lord materialized from shadow and flame, but here, in his domain, he was more than physical. He was concept given form, every nightmare, every fear, every moment of despair that had ever existed. His presence made the air scream.
I've prepared something special for you. Your own personal hell. Every soul watching, every demon cheering, will witness the last Archangel break.
Gabriel's response was to charge. Part 2, the first exchange. Their collision shook hell to its foundations. Gabriel's corrupted sword met the Dark Lord's weapon of crystallized despair, and the impact created a shockwave that shattered lesser demons miles away. The black glass ground cracked in spider web patterns, revealing glimpses of even deeper hells beneath.
Foolish angel dares to fight. You're already mine, you just don't know it yet.
Gabriel fought with everything he had, millennia of training, heavenly techniques mixed with corrupted fury. His blade moved faster than thought, each strike aimed at vital points that shouldn't exist on a being like the Dark Lord. But every blow that landed seemed to amuse more than harm.
Is that all? Let me show you how it's done.
The Dark Lord's counterattack was poetry written in violence. His blade didn't just cut flesh, it severed hopes. Each strike removed not just feathers from Gabriel's wings, but memories of light. Gabriel felt himself diminishing with every exchange, becoming less angel, more void. Part 3, the breaking of wings.
Your wings, still trying to be white beneath all that black. How quaint.
He moved faster than even angelic perception could follow. One moment he stood across from Gabriel, the next his hands were buried in the Archangel's wings.
Let me help you with that.
The sound of wings being torn from an angel's back cannot be described in mortal terms. It was like hearing light die, like the universe itself crying out.
Aha!
Gabriel's scream transcended sound, becoming a force that cracked the arena walls. The Dark Lord held up the severed wings, examining them like a curator with a new acquisition.
Beautiful. They'll look perfect mounted in my throne room.
He tossed them aside, where demon servants quickly collected them. Gabriel fell to his knees, golden blood, ichor, pouring from the wounds where his wings had been. But worse than the physical agony was the spiritual amputation. Angels were their wings. Without them, he was unmade.
Get up. We're not done. You challenged me, remember.
Part 4, the corruption complete. Gabriel struggled to his feet, his sword now feeling impossibly heavy. The corruption, without his wings to balance it, spread like wildfire through his being. His eyes, once gold, turned black as the void. His skin began to crack, revealing not light but emptiness beneath.
There it is. The fall. Do you feel it, Gabriel? The last of your divinity dying.
Gabriel tried to speak, but only darkness came from his mouth, literal darkness like ink spilling from his lips.
You came here to save souls. Let me show you the souls you came to save.
He gestured, and suddenly Gabriel could see them all. Millions upon millions of souls in torment. But worse, he could feel their suffering as if it were his own. Every cut, every burn, every moment of agony across all of hell flooded into him at once. Gabriel fell again, convulsing. The empathy that had driven him here became his greatest torture.
This is hell's truth. Suffering is infinite. Salvation is a lie. And you, Gabriel, are about to become my greatest trophy.
Part 5, the final duel. But something in Gabriel refused to break completely. Maybe it was the memory of that little girl with her toy sword. Maybe it was the echo of what he'd once been. Maybe it was simple, stubborn refusal to give the Dark Lord satisfaction. But Gabriel stood one more time.
I descend to break their chains.
Still quoting scripture? How dull. Let's end this farce.
The final exchange lasted exactly 13 seconds. Gabriel fought with the desperation of the damned, his corrupted sword moving in patterns that defied physics. For a moment, just a moment, he seemed to gain ground. His blade found a gap in the Dark Lord's defense, cutting across his perfect face, drawing black blood that hissed and steamed. The arena went silent. The Dark Lord touched the wound, looking at his own blood with something like surprise. Then he smiled.
You actually cut me. In my own realm. Impressive. For that, you've earned the honor of seeing my true form.
What Gabriel saw then broke what remained of his angelic nature. The Dark Lord's true form was absence itself, not darkness, but the void that existed before light, the hunger that existed before satisfaction, the question that existed before answers. To perceive it was to understand the fundamental meaninglessness of existence. Gabriel's sword fell from nerveless fingers. He dropped to his knees, not in defeat but in horrible understanding.
Now you see. I am not evil, Gabriel. I am inevitability. I am entropy. I am the end that gives beginning meaning.
He picked up Gabriel's corrupted sword, examining it.
This will make a fine addition to my collection.
Then he drove it through Gabriel's chest. Part 6, The Chains of Hell. Gabriel didn't die. In hell, death was a mercy not granted. Instead, he found himself being dragged by chains that materialized from the darkness. Chains forged from the broken promises of heaven, from the abandoned prayers of the faithful, from the last hopes of the damned. They wrapped around his limbs, his throat, his soul itself. The Dark Lord dragged him to a special place, a cliff overlooking the infinite depths of hell, where the worst of the worst were kept. At its peak was a rock, black and gleaming, carved with symbols that hurt to perceive.
Your new home. Chained to hell's rock, where you'll burn without being consumed, suffer without dying, exist without being. And the best part? You'll be able to see every soul suffering below you forever, knowing you failed to save even one.
The chains pulled tight, spreading Gabriel in an X across the rock. Immediately, hellfire began to lick at his form. Not destroying but perpetually burning, renewing his flesh only to burn it again.
New.
Gabriel's scream echoed across hell, and every demon cheered. Part 7, The Throne of Ashes. With Gabriel chained and broken, the Dark Lord returned to the mortal realm. He materialized in the ruins of Astoria's throne room, where human ash fell like snow from the burning city above. The elaborate golden throne of the human kings had been transformed, now made from compressed ash and bone, still warm with the heat of recent death. The Dark Lord sat upon it with satisfaction, and the throne recognized its true master. The ashes formed into screaming faces, the bones sang hymns of despair. This was not just a seat of power, but a monument to victory.
Bring me the survivors.
Demons dragged in the few remaining leaders. General Aldrich barely alive, Raphael, the last uncorrupted angel, a handful of noble survivors. They were forced to kneel before the throne of ashes.
Behold, your hope lies chained in hell, burning forever. Your kings are dead. Your gods have abandoned you. I am all that remains.
Part 8, Coronation of Shadow. What followed was a coronation unlike any the world had seen. The Herald of Darkness placed a crown upon the Dark Lord's head, not gold or silver, but made from the solidified last breaths of heroes. Each jewel was a crystallized moment of despair from the battle. It was beauty and horror intertwined. Demons filled the throne room, along with corrupted angels, enslaved souls, and broken survivors forced to watch. They began a chant that made reality itself tremble. Lord of Darkness, King of Shadows, Emperor of Despair, eternal and undefeated. The Dark Lord raised his hand for silence.
Today marks not just victory but transformation. This world thought itself protected by light. That light is now chained in hell, burning for my amusement. Let all realms know I am undefeated. I am eternal. I am your new god.
Who the Lord of Darkness? Undefeated, unconquered, undying. Part 9, The Victory Song. Then, in a moment that would become legend among the damned, the Dark Lord did something unexpected. He reached beside his throne and pulled out an instrument. Not a harp or lyre, but something more primitive, more powerful. A guitar forged from the wood of the first tree that grew in Eden, strung with the hair of fallen angels.
A victory demands a song. And who better to sing it than your new god?
His fingers touched the strings, and the sound that emerged was both beautiful and terrible. It resonated with the fundamental frequency of suffering, the harmonic of hopelessness. When he began to sing, his voice was every seduction, every temptation, every moment of weakness given form.
From the ashes of your kingdom, I rise supreme tonight. Your angels burn in darkness, there is no more light. I am the Lord of darkness, undefeated in my might. Kneel before your master, or be consumed by fright.
The demons joined in, their voices creating a symphony of the damned.
Who the Lord of darkness? Chains of hell hold tight. Who the Lord of darkness? Eternal is his night.
The song continued, each verse detailing his victory, Gabriel's fall, the death of hope. It was hypnotic, infectious. Even the human survivors found themselves swaying to the rhythm, their minds being rewritten by the dark melody. Part 10, The New World Order. As the song ended, the Dark Lord set aside the guitar and stood. His form seemed to fill the entire throne room, his presence absolute.
Let it be known across all realms. The age of light has ended. The age of darkness eternal has begun. Every sunrise from this day forward is my permission. Every breath you take is my allowance. You exist because I find your suffering amusing.
He gestured, and portals opened showing other kingdoms, other realms. In each, his demon armies were victorious. Cities burned. Castles fell. The world was transforming into his image.
But I am not without mercy. Serve willingly, and your torment will be purposeful. Resist, and join Gabriel in personalized hells. The choice, such as it is yours.
You've won the battle, but not the war. Someone will rise. Someone always does.
Let them try. I've defeated heaven's mightiest. I've corrupted the incorruptible. I've turned hope itself into despair. Who could possibly stand against me?
He didn't notice, in the corner of the throne room, a single white butterfly that had somehow survived the carnage. It fluttered once, then vanished into a crack in the wall. Epilogue, Hell's new ornament. In hell, Gabriel burned. Each moment was an eternity of agony. The chains that held him conducted the suffering of every soul in hell directly into his being. He experienced every torture, every scream, every moment of despair as if it were his own. But worst of all was the knowledge. He could see the mortal realm from his prison, watch as the Dark Lord's dominion spread. He saw temples converted to shrines of darkness. He saw children taught to pray to their new god. He saw hope die in real time.
Why? Why did heaven abandon us? Why did you let me fall?
The only answer was the Dark Lord's victory song, still echoing across hell, a reminder that would play forever.
I am the Lord of darkness. Gabriel tried and failed. Now he burns forever? His holy light has paled. Who the Lord of darkness? Undefeated, unmatched, undying.
The age of darkness had truly begun. The Dark Lord sat on his throne of ashes, ruling over a world transformed into his personal realm of suffering. And in hell, the last Archangel burned eternal, a monument to the futility of resistance. But somewhere, in places even the Dark Lord's eyes couldn't reach, small things stirred. Seeds of something that would take years to grow. The victory was complete, but totality is its own weakness. Even gods can be surprised. End of episode 5.